Hello. Now, in the previous episode, we have worked on adding subscriptions to users and making it so that only subscribed users can see premium posts. And now we're actually going to work some more on the usability. So first of all, our posts are visible at the moment only for users that are logged in. So at the moment, if a user is not logged in and tries to navigate to posts, there is no way to see any posts. And it's actually not good for the search engine optimization. We want the free posts to be actually visible for not logged in users. And now thinking even further, we want actually all the users to be aware of the existence of premium posts, but they will just not be able to open the post and view the post content. So let's work on this. Now, if we go into our app controllers, posts controller, we will actually skip the before action authenticate user for posts show and for posts index. So let's do this the same way we did in our static public controller. We're going to skip the before action authenticate user for these two actions, for show and for new. So skip before action authenticate user for index and for show. And let's see what it gives us. I will try to sign out and go to /posts. And we get this error, undefined method active for current user. Well, because we tried to check for something for current user, but we don't have a current user. So we will actually have this kind of scope only if there is a current user. So we would say something like if user signed, or actually maybe like this, current user and active. So if there is current user, we look for active. Yeah, this way it's going to be even easier. So by doing this and dot, we check if there is a current user, and then we check for him being active. Okay, so now you see we are not logged in and we see the list of posts. I will try to open a post and we can see the content. Looks good. Now, what else do we want to do? We want to have the edit and destroy links visible only for the users that are logged in. So let's go back to our posts views, going to posts, to the post partial, and here we have edit and destroy. And now who can edit and destroy a post? So definitely not a user that is not signed in. So we will say if user signed in, then we will see these links. Okay, so not signed in users cannot see these links. And I will make the premium posts also visible for all kinds of users. Just they will not be able to press the show button to open a post. So let's go back to our posts controller. And here we have posts all if the current user doesn't have an active subscription. So we're going to actually always show all the posts in our index action. Okay, actually we'll always show all the posts. But if a user wants to open a post that is premium, he should get an error. Okay, you see, we get this undefined method subscription status for nil class. For nil class because the subscription status is searched for a current user and there is no current user. So again, we will add if there is a current user and his subscription status is not active. Let's see if it works. Okay, so you see, now we are not logged in. I try to open a regular post, I can do it. I try to open a premium post and I get this error, you're not a premium subscriber. So this works. Okay, now let's go back and log in. So I will log in with GitHub, for example. And you see, now if I go to our posts, I have links to edit and destroy all the posts. So I can edit posts that were done by me and that were done not by me. And this shouldn't be an option. So I should be able to edit and destroy only my own posts. So we will add our very first level of authorization. So user access rights to different actions. Now we'll make it so that only a user that created the post will be able to edit and destroy the post. So we will, for example, go to edit and add an authorization. We will say unless add post.user equals current user, redirect to post path with an alert, you're not authorized. Okay, and let's see if it works. Now I'm going back and I'm going to try to go to edit a post that was not created by me. So I press edit and you see, I get this you're not authorized. And if I click destroy, I can still destroy the post. So it shouldn't be an option also. I can add the same kind of authorization for our destroy. So first of all, we're going to check if the post was created by the current user, and then we're going to run post destroy. Let's see if it works. So I'll press destroy, okay, and I get an error because render was called multiple times. So I try to redirect to posts, and also I try to redirect to posts after destroying the post. Let's see if anything worked. Let's see if the post was destroyed. Going back to posts, there should be 12 posts. So the post was actually destroyed. Now it is because my logic doesn't work correctly. You see, I managed to destroy another post. So we would say if the post user is the current user, then we can destroy, else we will redirect. Or we can change the logic like this, unless, then we redirect, else, then we are going to destroy. So this should actually work. I'm going to once again try to destroy some kind of post. So I press destroy. And you see, I get you're not authorized. So here's our very first level of authorization. And we will also do this for the update action. So unless post user is current user, we are going to redirect the post path with you're not authorized. Otherwise, we are going to do all these actions. And this is the most basic authorization that you can do on a controller level without adding any kind of gems. So we added this authorization for edit, update, and destroy. Okay, looks fine. And we can do the same for the edit and destroy links. So going back to our post, we will also check if the current user is the one who created this particular post. So we will say if current user is the post user, then we'll have the links to edit and destroy. Let's see. So now I don't have the links to edit and destroy visible. Looks good. But if I log out and go to /posts, looks fine. Okay, so looks fine. We are not logged in and we don't have the buttons to edit and destroy a post. Makes sense. And if we try to go to posts new, of course we cannot do it. And then now we allow posts to be visible to not logged in users. So let's add a link to the posts. So we'll go to our layouts and in our header, we will add a link to see all the posts. Now we have the posts visible for logged in users. We will just move it right here, not checking for current user. Okay, let's see if they are visible. So now we have home page, we have pricing and posts. Looks fine. And you see, we can see all the posts. But if I press a post that is premium, we do not have the opportunity to see it. And if I press a free post, we can go to the show action. And now let's do some basic styling for the posts. So we'll go to get bootstrap, and bootstrap has such a class as a card. Let's go to cards. So here's basic bootstrap card. It can have a body, a footer, and a header. So let's wrap our posts into cards. Let's try to see how it would look. We would add a div with a class card and wrap everything into this card. wrap the whole post into this card, and let's see how it would look. So here is a single post. Now it doesn't look perfect. And going to all the posts, doesn't look perfect. And we'll wrap this into a card body, for example. So card and inside card body. And now we will close this div. This is how you put a div inside a div. Okay, looks much better. So we have a card and a card body, and we can actually also add a card footer. So we would add, for example, the buttons to edit and to destroy into a card footer. And the card footer would be available, would be visible only if the user can see edit and destroy. So inside we will have this card footer. And let's just center this a bit. And we shouldn't be able to see the footer now, but if we log in and if we log in and go to our posts and create a post, we should be able to see the links to edit and destroy in the footer. Okay, it doesn't look really nice. We should have done something differently. Oh yeah, the footer should not be inside the body. That's the problem. So it should be on the same level as the card body, but inside the card. So looks fine. And this should also maybe be in some kind of footer, for example. Let's add this information like when the post was created and whether it is premium also into a footer. And we will remove this break. We don't need it anymore. Okay, so here is the card body where we have just the post title and body. Then in the one footer, we have when the post was created and the user and whether it is premium. And in another footer, we have the links to edit and destroy. Okay, so looks kind of okay. Now let's have a look at all our posts. And now we have these dividers. So we do not need to see these dividers. Let's try to remove one of these dividers. Let's go to our posts index. And here we will remove this row. Let's see how it looks. So you see the posts are just next to each other. There should actually be some kind of space. For example, a break. Yeah, so looks fine. Or we can try to add a paragraph. Also looks fine. Anyway, let's leave a break. And here on the end of the page, you see we also have a break. Now let's try to remove this break from the end of the page and see how it looks. So looks fine. And now our posts look kind of a bit better. Okay, and let's also add our users into a card. And actually at the moment, it's not really nice that anybody can see all kinds of information about all the users. So all the IP addresses, the UIDs, and so on. So we will also hide this data. Now only the user will be able to see sensitive data about himself. So let's go to our users. Partial, going to users, user, and we'll also wrap this all into a card. So we'll have a card body, and this will be all wrapped inside the card body. And in the end, we should not forget to close these divs. This is why I like using HAML, but not ERB, because we don't have to think about closing divs and so on. Okay, and all the users are in a card, looks kind of fine. Let's also remove this line, the row, and make it a break. Okay, looks fine. And now we'll add some additional validations for what different users can see about each other. So let's make just the name, and what else should be visible by other users. Okay, we can actually think about this later on. So now we have anyway a nicer looking list of users, a nicer looking list of posts, and yeah, looks fine. Let's try to create a post with some real markdown, a big post. Now, in my blog, I've got quite a lot of big posts with markdown, so we'll just copy the markdown. So for example, I will copy the markdown from here. I'll take the raw and paste it inside the new post. And let's have a look at this post. Okay, so you see the markdown kind of works, though it isn't styled very beautifully. It's hard to distinguish whether this is code or not code. We can actually work on this later on. But you see, it goes to the very end of the page. And we don't want to add a break on the very end of each page. We would actually want to add a break in our application HTML. So go into our layouts, application HTML, somewhere on the end of the body, we can add an additional break after yield. Okay, and then there will always be a small break between the body and the footer. So looks kind of fine. Okay, let's actually maybe save our changes. We've done quite a lot of styling. So let's say git status, git add all, git commit main, basic bootstrap styling for posts and users, and post view validations. Okay, looks fine. And now actually let's add a new feature. We're going to make it so that users can vote on posts. So whether they like the post or dislike the post. So for this, we're going to use the gem acts as votable. Let's go to GitHub and find the gem acts as votable. Here it is. And let's install it. So I'm taking the gem and adding it to our gem file. Okay, now running bundle. And we need to run this migration, Rails generate acts as votable migration. Okay, here is the migration. So we're going to have a polymorphic votable, like the votable is going to be the post or a comment. The voter is going to be a user. And vote scopes, weights, it's like somebody's vote can weight 2 points, somebody's vote can weight 1 point, and so on. So, okay, now post is going to be acts as votable. So we are going to be able to vote on posts. So going to our models, post.rb, and we will say acts as votable. Okay, and now we can actually run commands like post liked by user, and the votes would be updated in the database. But before doing this, we are going to go to the voter, and we are going to say that the user is the voter. So user.rb, and we will say acts as voter. Okay, and we will also need to add caching. So we're going to count all the voting details about the post, like cached votes total, score, votes up, votes down, and so on. So we'll run this migration, Rails generate migration, add cached votes to posts. And we will add this whole file inside. So you see, for access votable, we are creating a separate table. And for the posts, we are also adding all these columns to calculate the votes efficiently. Okay, and now we don't have still a running production application where we have votes, so these lines don't really matter. We're just adding the cached votes, everything, and running Rails db migrate. Okay, so we've run the migrations, and now we can add the voting functionality. And actually, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. In my blog, I've already done this. So we're going to add buttons to vote up and down and automatically refresh them without refreshing the page. So we're going to add 2 buttons, upvote and downvote, to our resources posts in our routes. So going to our config, going to routes, Now, at the moment, we have just resources posts, and instead it is going to be member do, patch upvote, or downvote. And we will add two controller actions, upvote and downvote. So going to our post controller. Now I will first switch off all the files that we are not using at the moment. Yeah, going to our post controller, we will add two actions, upvote and downvote. So we're going to find the post, then if the current user has voted up on the post, we will unvote, so like remove the vote, otherwise we're going to upvote. And we're going to render a JS file that will refresh like this. So now we'll add these upvote and downvote actions in our post controller. And you see, we've got this post find params ID. Now we can actually have it here in the before action. It's the same as the before action set post. Here is the before action set post. We find the post by params ID. So we don't need to have it here and here. Instead, we will have in the before action upvote and downvote, just like this. Okay, and we will actually need this file vote.js.erb. So where will we add it? We will find this vote.js erb and add it inside our posts view. So going to posts, we add this file vote.js erb, and here we're going to have links to three different partials, to the partial to count the likes, to the link to downvote, and to the link to upvote. So we'll need to create these three partials, each partial for each button, one for upvote, one for votes count or the score, and one partial for downvote. So here are the three partials, the upvote link, so creating the partial for upvote link, and inside we will have this div. Now, look, in this video, I'm just adding this functionality that I have covered previously, and in my YouTube, I've got this separate episode where I cover acts as votable, so there I go much more into the details of how this works, so I really recommend it. So here we've got the upvote link, and now we'll have the downvote link. And we will also need this like count. So creating the file like count and adding this here. And each time we press any of the buttons to upvote or to downvote, they're going to render this vote.js erb, and we're going to refresh. And we're going to refresh the partials, like count, downvote link, and upvote link. Okay, so here we have the like count, post cached votes score, and we need to actually show these three partials in our post view. So going to our post, here somewhere we will have these buttons to upvote, downvote, and see the votes count. So we'll need these three buttons. They will be visible for now if there is a current user. So going to our post, let's, for example, in the footer or wherever, for example, under the title, add these three buttons. If there is a current user, render upvote, like count, and downvote link. Let's see. I'm going to start the server now. Okay, and here we have the button to upvote, downvote, and the votes count. So let's upvote this post. You see it worked. Let's try to downvote, unvote. Okay, so I'll do this post, and downvote this post. And you see it's working. Now I will refresh the page. And did it work? Now you see the order of the post has changed. Let's actually not change the order by update. It changed by when it was updated. Let's say just post all dot order created at descending. For now, let it be like this. I will refresh and go to our latest post. So I will upvote this post. I will refresh the page. You see the upvote was kept. I'll go to another post and downvote, refresh, and it was kept. And if I go to a post page, everything works. So the partials are working their magic. And now we can upvote and downvote all the posts with ease. And you see it was really, really fast to add when we've already done this before. Okay, so we've actually added the basic upvoting and downvoting functionality with the AJAX as votable. So let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, vote for posts with AJAX as votable. Okay, and I will push and also push to Heroku. And when we are pushing to Heroku, we should not forget to run the Heroku migrations when they are done, so that the new fields with upvoting and downvoting are still available. And in the meantime, we want to actually add some filtering and pagination for our posts. So I'll start a new console. And at the moment, we have all the posts on one page. We don't have any pagination for posts yet. We have some pagination for our users, but not for posts. So as we have pagination for users, we're going to also add pagination for posts. And now we've already done it once, so it's going to be much easier the second time. Again, I will close everything that we are not using right now. Okay. And let's have a look at how we did it in our users controller. We've actually added both ransack and paging. And we will do the same for posts. We will add search with ransack and pagination with paging. So we'll just copy this and add it into our posts controller. Okay. And instead of user, we'll have post. And here, posts. And fine. So I will refresh the page. Now we have 13 posts, and now we have 10 posts per page. By default, inside our page.rb in config, initializers, page.rb, we have 10 items per page by default. Okay, and now let's add the links to pagination. So the way we did it in users index, here we have this page bootstrap page. If there is more than one page, we'll do the same for our posts. Okay. And now we have basic pagination. So it works. We have the first page and the second page, and we see how many posts out of how many posts we see. Well, it's 3 on the second page and 10 on the first page. So looks quite nice. We've added pagination, and now we will also add search with ransack. So the way we did it in users index, we've added these sort links, and we've added the search form. Let's start by adding the search form. And we will also add this link to refresh. So, and we'll add the break like this. And now we don't have email contains in our posts. You see, it gives us an error, but we have something like title contains. So let's see, and let's search for the post that has the word yarrow in the title. And you see we have the post visible. So looks fine. Okay, and let's actually also make it so that we can filter the posts by author. Now this is interesting. We should search by the parent table. So we'll go to our ransack documentation and have a look at how it is done. So let's see. We have the search with distinct true, and we will also include the parent. We will not have distinct true, we will have includes user. So going to posts, we will have result includes user instead of distinct true. So I'm removing this, and we will say includes user. Okay, I will refresh, and I will add an additional field, user email contains or username contains, inside our view. So here we have our view, and now we search by title, and we will also search by user email contains. So we will say user email contains and see if it works. So going back to our posts, here we have the search for user email contains. Now let's see, for example, the email of this user. It is this one. Let's say email contains the word Outlook. So going to search by the word Outlook, and we get the posts by this user. So it kind of works. Let's actually better search by the name. User name contains. Let's see. I will add the surname, and I again see the posts by this user. I will try to search for somebody else. So I'm going to all the posts, and we have this Josefina. Let's search for the Josefina posts. Okay, maybe Josefina doesn't have a name. Yeah, actually Josefina doesn't have a name. You see, some users don't have a name by default. We can actually also add some kind of default names in our seeds. So let's go to our seeds. In DB, seeds, for creating the users, we will also give them some kind of names. So we have an email, a password, and we will also say name. And the name will be Faker, and let's see what kind of name it can be. How to add a name with Faker. We're going to Faker Ruby Faker, and there must be something like people or human. Let's see. Going to doc. Maybe in creature. No, not creature. Now, where will we find people? Faker. Yeah, let it be an artist. So Faker artist name. Okay, so next time we seed a user, he will have some kind of Faker name. Looks fine. We can actually do it now. Let's say Rails DB reset and see if it works. Okay, it has been accessed by others. Yeah, I need to stop the server. I will say again Rails DB reset, and in the meantime, I will type Heroku run Rails DB migrate. And here the database was reset in development. I'm going to Rails server. Refreshing. Now we need to log in once again. And let's have a look at our users. And you see, they were assigned some kind of default names. So looks fine. Okay, now in the meantime, we have added the pagination and basic search to our posts. Looks fine. And going back to our users, let's actually also display their avatar if they have an avatar. So going to the users partial, the views, users, we will also display this image tag the way we do in our navigation. So here we have the navbar, and here we have the current user image. And we'll also add it to the users partial. Let's say image tag, user.image. And let's see if it works. And you see, can build URI for a user that doesn't have an image. So we will say if current user image. Let's say if user.image. And it works. So the users that have an image will also have an image visible here, and the others will not. Let's also add a break like this. And looks quite nice. Okay, And actually, we can also make the image of the user visible under the posts if the user has an image. So let's go to our posts partial. And here we have the username, and we will also add the image. So we will say image tag, post user image. If the user has an image. Okay, let's refresh. And undefined method user. Yeah, it should be if post user image. Okay, and let's actually create a post by a user that has an image. And you see, it is displayed. So looks nicer. Okay, let's save our changes. We'll say git status, git add all, git commit main, posts pagination, and ransack search. Okay, looks fine. Now, what else do we want to add now? Let's see. Okay, and let's actually improve our posts search a bit more. Let's add some kind of filtering like by when the post was created and by the post's score. So how much, like the top voted or the least voted posts. So let's add some ransack filters the way we did in our users index. Here we have our sort links for email created and post count. And inside our posts index will also have a few sort links. Now you can also notice that our users and posts views, index views are kind of similar in some ways. But in our posts, we're going to have different attributes. So we'll have a sort link by when the post was created. For the beginning, let's see. So here we filter by created. So oldest, newest, looks fine. And you see we filtered by created, and we will also add a default order like this. So we're adding a default order by descending. It should add some better usability. So again, I'm going to our posts. I filter by created, and I go to this refresh, and you see it brings us to our users. Now this is a problem of copy paste. It should lead us to posts path. Okay, and now once again going to posts, filtering by the creation date. Okay, and now it's filtered by the votes. So what database column is this? If we go to our posts like count, it is post cached votes score. So we will add an additional filter by the posts cached votes score. And we would say something like top voted or just top. Like this. And let's see. So I will refresh. And we have the search by top. Let's select top. And we see the top voted posts first. Well, there is just one. Let's actually make one post negative votes and see. So I refilter, we have the worst post, I filter, and we have the best post. So looks really nice. We can now filter by when the post was created and by the top posts. Of course, this search and filtering doesn't work, doesn't look perfect yet, but we can always improve it. And looks nice. Well, we've added some basic design, and I think it's enough for now. Later on, we'll continue on actually finalizing our application and make it really, really usable. And we will also improve on how the markdown for code pieces is depicted. So this is it for now, and thanks for being with me.